This is one of sport's great proving grounds, a gateway to glory. Brilliant. 29 tournaments spanning 19 countries. Along the way, a chance to expand horizons and sample life on tour.
How beautiful is that? Magic.
Finish the season in the top 20 on the road to Mallorca rankings and secure a golden ticket to the DP World Tour. This is the Challenge Tour. Following a highly successful start in Finland, we've hit the midway mark in our Scandinavian swing. The Challenge Tour is in Sweden this time for one of the youngest events on the schedule, the Indoor Golf Group Challenge. In both previous editions, worthy winners were crowned. But more importantly, both past champions went on to finish in the top 20 on the road to Mallorca rankings that season and gain promotion to the DP World Tour. A good omen then for those teeing it up this week at the Västerby Links, with Landeryds Golfklubb again on hosting duties and again in immaculate condition. Looking to follow in the footsteps then of Messrs Lindberg and Rotluff is our man in the spotlight this week, Christofer Rahm.
I started with golf when I lived in Spain, moved there when I was 3, but didn't start with golf until I was 10. So my dad had played some golf, so he got us out on the range. He had got my sister out a couple of years earlier, but then she lost some interest, and then when I got to the age, he took me out as well, and that's where my sister gained some interest back, and we started at a par 3 course, which they had a huge range, and then 9 par 3 holes. It was a great starting point to learning about the game of golf. I was playing soccer, I was playing tennis, I was playing all kinds of sports at the time, but had a leg injury from skiing. The focus kind of went more towards golf because obviously it was easier for my leg and everything, so golf became the sport that I chose to play. That's pure. Yep, little buttercup.
Rahm's family moved around, and as a result, he spent time in India, the UAE and Sweden, honing his game in a variety of different conditions. A college stint in the US was followed by success in the Nordic League.
They're rolling nice, huh? They're quick down the hill. When I started this year, obviously you always have expectations and beliefs and dreams that you're going to win a tournament, but it's hard to see it in front of you until it happens. I got my first win in the second event on the Nordic League and then won back-to-back, and all of a sudden everybody were congratulating, and it just happened very fast, but obviously a great feeling to be in that place, and then you just ride the confidence wave. And then got my third win a couple months after that, and obviously now out here. So, I mean, super happy for what I've done during the season, but every week I'm focused on that week, and no matter if I win a tournament or if I missed a cut the week before, it's always trying to stay in the present. Just a beautiful day. Sun is out. We're just enjoying ourselves. It's not often the weather in Sweden is like this.
His 3 Nordic League victories led to his immediate promotion to the Challenge Tour. Now, it's time to reset goals.
I think sometimes it's easy to get ahead of yourself, and instead of just focusing on the points, I'm trying just to focus on what I can control, and that's what I'm doing day by day. So obviously the dream is to get that top 20, to make it all the way to Mallorca. It's big. If I make it to Mallorca, you always have a shot of doing something special. And I had that as a goal, but after a couple of weeks where I've not done so well, I've just tried to refocus and tried to get back down on earth and just realize that no matter if you're doing very well, it's still hard. If you're not doing well, it's equally as hard. So just trying to enjoy the moment and appreciate that what I've done has put me in this spot, to potentially contend to go to China and then go to Mallorca and further. So I'm just trying to enjoy myself out here as much as I can. People talk about finding a good feeling on the range. I'm like, find a bad feeling and then we know it's going to be good on the course.
It's been good both on and off the course for Rahm since joining the Challenge Tour. With travel so much a part of the life of a pro golfer, finding like-minded people to share it with is key.
We try and travel together, and there's obviously a bunch of Swedish guys on the tour, so we try and get together. Every week is different. Some weeks it's Airbnb. This week I'm staying at a friend's house who lives in the area. Low body, low body, low body. Get you moving. Oh! I've gotten to know a lot more people this year, which I've been fortunate about, and it's just a part of the whole traveling and getting around and playing on the Challenge Tour, which has been very fun. Oh, okay. Hey!
Good game. Nice.
Good game.
Good game.
That's fun.
Fun and games indeed. But with Thursday dawning and his tee time approaching, Rahm had to focus on the task that lay ahead of him, the first round of the Indoor Golf Group Challenge. It would be a round with a difference, though. His father, Magnus, was not only celebrating his 59th birthday, but also standing in as his caddy.
Chris. Magnus.
On the tee from Sweden, Christofer Rahm.
Beginning on the 10th hole, the 26-year-old made a subdued start. 3 pars in a row before his first birdie on the 13th. That was cancelled out by a drop shot on 16 before this delightful tee shot on 17. Rahm would go on to make that and turn in 1 under par. It was a day not without its frustrations, though. A few scoring opportunities slipped through his fingers, like lipping out for birdie here at the first. Despite that setback, he rolled in this birdie putt at the very next hole to get it to 2 under par for his round. It was very much a family affair on Thursday, with Rahm's sister Isabella and mother Cecilia also out watching. They were witness to a remarkably consistent showing from Rahm in tricky conditions. He reeled off 6 straight pars, but was unable to close out the round the way he would have wanted to. He dropped a shot on the 9th hole, his last of the day, signing for a 1 under par 70.
I'm satisfied. It was a good round. A little drizzle with the rain and everything, so it wasn't tough, but it wasn't easy. You had to take the wind into consideration in a lot of different places. But just a steady round out there, hit a lot of greens, which obviously makes it easier. And then just the putts were coming up a touch short. Otherwise, it could have been a lot lower, but I'm happy with my start.
Elsewhere, Julian Sale and Adam Anderson carded matching 65s to grab a 1-shot lead. 5 shots off the pace, Rahm was far from out of it, but would need a decent second round showing to stay in the hunt. Following the birthday celebrations on Thursday night, the entire family was in attendance at Västerby Links on Friday morning. The mood in the Rahm camp certainly upbeat. And that positivity was rewarded early on, as Rahm opened his account with a birdie on the first. Despite the early momentum, Rahm struggled, making back-to-back bogeys on his next 2 holes. Level par for the tournament then, and with plenty of work to do. 6 pars followed to steady the ship, but bogeys on the 10th and 12th holes saw him slip the wrong side of the cut line. Rahm needed a response, and it came at the 14th. Another gain at the 16th returned him to level par for the tournament and back on track for weekend golf. Rahm's playing partner, Alex Levy, had made a hole-in-one in the final round in Finland, and he came agonisingly close to a second ace in the space of 5 days here on the 17th. Rahm, meanwhile, was intent on finishing strong. He closed with a birdie for a level par round of 71. At 1 under, he'd done enough to make the cut.
It just feels good to be playing the weekend. It's been a couple tough weeks where I missed the cut by 1 or 2 shots, so it's nice to get it done and hopefully have a good weekend.
Meanwhile, Mikael Lindberg had seized the tournament by the scruff of the neck. He turned in 3 under par, and despite 2 bogeys on the way in, finished in style. A delightful second into the par 5 18th set up an eagle attempt for Lindberg. The 2022 champion duly obliged, posting a second consecutive 67. At the midway mark of the tournament, Lindberg had carved out a 2-shot advantage. However, with 8 golfers in a share of second, there was plenty of potential for drama and excitement to come over the weekend in Sweden. Coming up, we head indoors for a challenge with a difference.
Let's have a match. Any ideas?
Yeah, closest to the pin channel.
Sounds good.
Oh, solid.
And we find out who came out on top at the Indoor Golf Group Challenge. See you soon. Welcome back to Sweden and the Indoor Golf Group Challenge. It was Mikael Lindberg, remember, who had seized the initiative at the tournament's halfway stage. Hunting a second win of the season, the Swede took a 2-shot advantage into the 3rd round. So let's join Josh Antman for moving day.
Speaking of our 36-hole leader, this was for the best possible start of the opening hole. 2-shot lead overnight, extended it to 3 early on. Lindberg on the second event of the season in Cape Town, second last week in Finland, very much the man in form. Slow start on the day for Dermot McIlroy, 8 consecutive pars. He did birdie 9, and this from another county at 10. Back-to-back for the Northern Irishman. At this point, he was tied for second alongside Jesper Sandborg. 11 birdies in his first 2 rounds for McIlroy, taking a liking to this course in Västerby. Speaking of Sandborg, who's in the group behind McIlroy, from almost the same spot, on the same green at 10. Whatever you can do, I can do just as well. He's now in solo second at this point on 9 under par. The Swedes were impressing on home soil. No one impressing more at the moment than this man, Joakim Lagergren, in red-hot form. Finished second in Northern Ireland and then won a week later in Ireland in dramatic fashion. Was a miscut last week, but back to his best here. 3 under to this point. An absolutely stunning second shot into the par 5 there from Lagergren. A big following for Lagergren in Västerby. Formality with this eagle putt on the last. A 5 under 66. Sitting at 9 under par at this point, and a tie for 3rd. No wonder he's smiling. Very vocal support for Lagergren all week. It's a par 3, par 5 finish at Västerby, much to the liking of Dermot McIlroy. Saw that long putt on 10. He did exactly the same at 17. A 2 there on 17. He'd birdie 18, and he'd finish on 10 under par. Second place on his own with 18 to play. 2 birdies on the way out for Lindberg. He had 2 more on the way in. Fantastic touch at the final hole there on the par 5. Taking everything in his stride, Lindberg, on Saturday. was a flawless round up to this point, bogey free. That's his dog Coco, follows him everywhere on the golf course at home, brought by his girlfriend this week. 66 for Lindberg. He would lead by 3, looking for win number 2 this season.
Yes, a stunning showing from Lindberg. A 3-shot advantage for the Swede then, heading into the final round. Dermot McIlroy closest to catching him, with compatriots Lagergren and Sandborg a further shot adrift. Now, our title sponsor, the Indoor Golf Group, launched the inaugural IGG Winter Challenge last year. It's an indoor simulator golf competition, with exemptions into this week's tournament going to the leading players.
I actually qualified through the Indoor Golf Group Winter Challenge, and that's like a qualification that we play in the simulators last winter. So I ended up in the top 3 and then got my wildcard to this week's event.
Okay, let's have a match. Any ideas?
Yeah, what do you think about the closest to the pin challenge?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Rosen finished 3rd on the rankings, topped by Oliver Gilberg, who's also reaping the rewards of the system.
They've been a huge help for me this year. I'm in the Indoor Golf Group team for 2024, so they give me 8 starts on the Challenge Tour. And I can also borrow a TrackMan during the summer. Let's see if I can put some pressure on you and maybe hit the green. What do you think?
Sounds great.
I'm also in an indoor center at the winter practicing, but because of this team, I can also bring it outdoors, which is very helpful to practice with. But these 8 starts, it's huge for me. I'm so happy that they could give me that, and this week is one of them.
Maybe that's
what
the one.
A beautiful golf shot. Now, hole in one. I feel. Oh, solid.
That's to the right.
Sit. Sit.
That's a great shot.
Thank you. No. Good job. Solid, man.
Thanks.
Congrats.
Thank you. Pleasure to play with you.
I have to practice some more in here to have a chance. I hope I can get my revenge outdoors, maybe.
Exactly.
Yes, following that fierce battle indoors, there was just one winner left to crown outdoors in Sweden, the champion of the main event, the Indoor Golf Group Challenge. And waiting to see how it all played out, let's rejoin Josh Antman again.
Overnight leader Lindberg led by 3 with 18 to play. This was for eagle on the very first hole. Just getting there. What a start for Lindberg. 3-shot lead at the start of the day. At this point, after just 1 hole, it was 5. Though Dermot McIlroy would make a birdie there to reduce the deficit to 4. Christofer Rahm, who we spent the early part of the week with, closing out his tournament there on the 9th, a par, and it'd be a 1 over par round of 72, a tie for 50th, but plenty more to come from the Swede. McIlroy failed to mount much of a challenge despite starting the day as Lindberg's closest challenger. 3 birdies, 4 bogeys to this point. This never looked like getting there. It did. It returned him to level par for the day for the Northern Irishman. Tough day out there for all the players. Plenty of support out there, especially for the Swedes and this man, Joakim Lagergren. 2 bogeys and 2 birdies to the turn. He then had back-to-back birdies on 11 and 12. That was on 15 for birdie, the perfect response to a bogey on 14. 11 under par, but still at this point, he was 3 back of Lindberg. It's been a brilliant few weeks for Jack Sr. 3 top 10s in his last 4 starts, a 67 on Saturday, and this for birdie at the last for a 66, walking it in, Jack. Another top 10 finish and into the top 10 on the road to Mallorca rankings. was a very steady final day for Jesper Sandborg. Just one bogey in pretty tricky conditions. The wind was pumping on Sunday. The 2 birdies he had came at the first and the second, so had to be patient. This tee shot, however, on 17 was set up his 3rd birdie of his round, a 69 to finish for Sandborg. So much support out there for the Swedes, but the drama was still to come. Everyone was in pursuit of Lindberg. He reached the 17th on 14 under par, 2 clear of Lagergren. Tough shot from an elevated tee. The wind was up. You can see from the reads there just how much it was pumping. He got it wrong, found the penalty area. This was the damage limitations, a bogey back to 13 under and just a 1-shot lead with 1 to play. And then on the final hole, with the crowds gathering around the green, Lindberg pulled his tee shot out of position here, a horrible lie in the thick rough. Foot seemed to slip, went sideways the layup. He found his ball, but he would hit his 3rd shot into the water. Incredible drama down the final hole. Crowds couldn't quite believe what they were watching. And eventually it would be a triple bogey 8 on the 72nd hole for Lindberg. Just a horror finish for the Swede in front of his home fans. Lagergren had done well to avoid the trouble on 18, played it in regulation, and with the Lagergren fan club watching, a par was enough to snatch the title away from his countrymen. A 2nd title in the space of 3 weeks for Lagergren, 1 more, and he gets automatic promotion to the DP World Tour.
Yes, in a frenetic finish, Lindberg went from leading by 2 with 2 to play to finishing 2 behind Lagergren. Jesper Sandborg claimed solo 2nd spot. For our champion, though, it was the local support that made all the difference.
From Sweden, Joakim Lagergren.
They've been having my back for my whole career when I'm playing at home, so they mean a lot to me. Huge support out there. Every time I'm in Sweden, they're supporting me and pushing me through, so I love them.
Lagergren now joins Nygaard Peterson, Parry and Moscatel as 2-time winners this season. The race is on to see who can win a 3rd title and gain automatic promotion. Another top 10 in Sweden for Pierre Pinot saw him climb 5 spots up to 13th, and currently holding on to that pivotal 20th position is Bjorn Åkesson. And with that, we call time on our Scandinavian adventure. After stops in Finland and Sweden, the class of 2024 heads next for a brand new event, the Rosa Challenge Tour in Poland. So join us next time as the pursuit of promotion to the DP World Tour continues.